I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, the GMS that ruleth well, that we learn from. Salutations, peace, blessings to Joachim, Malachium, Zequanium, and Joachwath, Aquathium, Salaki. And to the scattered elect Israelite foreigners that are scattered abroad. This is I'm not sure if brothers saw the stream this past Friday. GMS Virginia had a Jewish, so-called Jewish bastard come up to the camp. The question was, I asked, one thing, seriously, which gets underneath my skin, when those fuckers come up, those bastards come up, and they pretty much, say, talk down about the New Testament. They pretty much say, Yahweh Shah is none and void, not important, that's the Christian, and they're showing you a bunch of confusion. They're just showing you that, they're not the true people. They don't need to be brought back. They don't need to be redeemed. They wasn't given any wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because it tells you in Revelation, I believe the 5th chapter, through Yahweh Shah, they're revealing, the wisdom of this book was open. That he was worthy to open up the seals of this book. And through Yahweh Shah, we have been given the light to see amongst his darkness. And that's why we can see the lies of them Jewish rat bastards. And they probably flagged this video, but who cares? One thing, what's the scripture? It says, well, I'm gonna go through a couple of these, proving, showing you, and this, just wondering, when did this ever happen? Because one prophecy did say when Israel is back in their homeland, it will be peace upon the earth. We're living in the worst times ever. Going to Proverbs 29, the 29th verse. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourneth, and when the righteous beareth rule, the people rejoiceth. We're clearly not in that time now. So let's see. I'm gonna go. This is Deuteronomy 28. Let me see. It's just some questions I wonder about. When did these things ever happen? You so-called Jewish, rat bastards, y'all aren't cursed at all. You actually get, y'all get welfare, y'all get food stamps, y'all get protection, police protection. I got power. Look at Nori. Nori just got backlash for having Kanye, Yee on this show. You just got canceled by who? The so-called, the issues, man. So, all right. So, Deuteronomy 28 and 28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Right off top, that made me think about the projects, the inner city, the ghetto. You go amongst the ghetto, who do you see? Jake, men. You might see a little prostitution. You might see, some junkies, some alcoholics. Men just sprawled out. I'll never forget, with me, the apostles out of a car. We ran through Baltimore. Jake would just sprawl the fuck out. Out of a car. He was like, yo, look at Jake, man. He's stretched out, defeated. You know, I'll never forget that day. You know, Jake was just through. You know, they were just sitting in chairs. They were just groping. You know, you Jews don't do that, man. You know, you Jews have money. You have families. You have your own quarters, your sections. Y'all got power. Y'all got money. Y'all got power. Y'all got the horn. You know. And if anybody coming against y'all shut them down. And I'm not talking about Public Enemy. So it says, verse 37, thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. You know, when you get into certain things, man, you know, nobody don't call for a Negro. Nobody don't call for a Hispanic. You know, when they get into trouble, who do they go for? They say, we got to go get us a so-called Jewish lawyer to get us out of this situation, you know. You know, you so-called Jewish, man, you know, you're not an astonishment. You're not a proverb, you know. You actually have people, especially like so-called Negroes, used to be like, look at the Jews, for instance, they're together, you know, because what? Jake is not together. So-called Negro, Latino, Hispanics, they're not together. They have become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations. You know, you so-called, you know, you Amalekites, man, y'all set up fun. Y'all set up in fun wars. And I wonder how, if you're cursed and, you know, you're in captivity. I wonder how you get, where did you get these funds from? So verse 44. So it says, verse 43. 41. I'm gonna just jump around. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. You know, you Jewish, so-called Jewish, man, you know, y'all have your kids. You have order in your structure. Jake, shit. Half of these Jakes don't even know their father. You know, a lot of these Jakes, man, their mother destroyed them. You know, you bastards, man. Y'all have your own school systems, man. It says the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Moab and the other nation don't come around Jewish quarters. They set up nothing. But when you look at so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanics, you know, Jamaicans, who you go to Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, who's over there? Moab, Elam. Even amongst the South America, amongst the so-called Latinos, Hispanics, man. The other nations are setting up above these other nations. And thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee. Negroes, you know, you Edomites, you Amalekites, man, y'all have interpreters. Y'all have other men. Y'all have men that can you got planes and jets, so you can actually go across the world and set up businesses. And you don't even have to know their language. You have interpreters. You know, you have power to actually conduct things with. You have money to, you know, you have say so. You have power. Thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head and thou shalt be the tail. You so-called Negroes, man. And another thing, that's how the hell did, you know, that's how you know the war on drugs was Esau, because you so-called Negroes don't speak Spanish. You so-called Negroes don't have boats. You so-called Negroes didn't have planes. And again, you gotta ask yourself, Hispanics, Latinos, you gotta have a passport. You gotta have a green card. You gotta have a visa. You have to have some type of. You can't just come. They couldn't just come to America. You can't just sail your way, man. Man, it's you have how you what you call it you have the water patrol, you have planes. You're not just coming to this country, my man. So again, these you know these issues, man. These these bastards. They set up those deals. They orchestrated those the destruction methods to destroy our people, so they can stay the head and we shall be the tail. Man, there's a video on YouTube that talks about the that ish that runs hip hop. Y'all know the so-called fake Jews. They run hip hop. They created hip hop. These Amalekites got their hands in all types of sorts of wickedness, and another thing too. A lot of people are waking up to that shit too. So it says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Hold on. So hold on. You when you talk to these rat bastards, man, they talk like they got everything together. They talk like they got everything together. They know the Hebrew, they know the Yiddish. This, they keep the Sabbath, Friday to Sunday, Fridays to Saturday. Look, they got things going on. So, I wonder, again, I wonder why it's not peace on earth. But when you look at so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans, you clearly see that it got to be something going on with these people, because why are they so destroyed? Why does the black woman, so-called black woman, talk shit against a so-called black man? Why does so-called Puerto Rican woman talking shit against so-called Puerto Rican man? Not too long ago, you had a band of women in Puerto Rico that was crying out for government assistance, talking about the so-called Puerto Rican men are killing them, murdering them. But it's because feminism, Esau is breaking down that patriarchy, which they did amongst the so-called black man, and now it's trickling down to the so-called Latinos. And surely but little, the so-called Latino women, the Hispanic women, they're getting fucking bugged out, man. But you women, you issues women, you so-called, you rat bastards, y'all women are in control, your women are in subjection. When the last time you seen a so-called a bastard woman talking shit about the men? So it says, verse 48, thou shalt serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst. Who y'all serving? In nakedness and in want of all things. Come on, man. When you look at the so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, man, all right, man, just say, for instance, the so-called black man had enough, huh? The so-called black man had enough, right? He said, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. I'm leaving. Or he can't just leave. He can't just leave America. He has to go now. He has to go to the proper paperwork, the funding. He has to pay. Oh, okay. So what did the so-called Hispanic man say? He had enough's enough with this country that these rat bastards done destroyed. Say a Zebulonite from El Salvador say, you know what, the gangs and the drugs is getting out of hand. I want to go to America, Babylon. He can't just come over here. He has to go through paperwork. He has to go through you devils. He has to pay thousands of dollars. He can die on the journey here. He has to learn about your history, your lies. You bastards ain't got to do that, man. Who do you report to? Y'all in power, right? And in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now, when you go upon iron of yoke upon the neck, who comes up? You Jewish rap bastards don't come up. So, going down. Yeah. So, 54, I'm going to jump to 56. So, verse 54, so that the man that is sin among you, if every delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. You don't hear Jewish in Jewish wars. You don't hear Jewish and Jewish crime. You hear about black on black crime. You hear about the gangs. You hear about the gangs of the Hispanics. So what is it? Sordeños, MS-13, Latin Kings, etc. Salaki. You don't hear about these rap bastards and their gangs. You don't hear nothing about that shit, man. Shit, man. You hear about the blacks so-called killing Hispanics killing blacks. The war that was in the gang war that was in California with the Issacharites in Judah. Shit, the gangs even here in Richmond, Virginia with Northern Kingdom, Hispanics. It's running rampant, man. You don't hear that. And toward the wife of his bosom. You don't hear these rap bastards leaving their children. Problem amongst the household. And toward the remnant of his children. Man, 50 Cent's having problems. And he's a so-called man that's been established, right? He said, verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. And this is where you get the problem and the bickerings of the so-called black men and women, and also the Hispanic and the Latino. And you also have even bickering amongst black men dealing with Latino women and Latino women dealing with black men, or even Latino men dealing with black women. So it says, I don't go through these things, man. Her eye shall be evil toward her husband, her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. I don't have those problems, man. And you have a lot of bickering going on between mothers and daughters now, even their son, because a lot of these so-called black women are destroying their boys, making them soft and effeminate, making them an easy prey, and basically giving them up mentally as a coon and a slave to their oppressor. Who's their oppressor? You fake ass rat bastards, man. So it says, verse 60, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wert afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law. Now, let's see. What what did they just say on national TV? That the Juicy Juice, was the most effective towards. I wonder who they said. They said so-called blacks, Latino, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Coincidence. They didn't say you Amalekites, man. And that's pretty much it on that. Let me get again, and another thing, these rap bastards, they don't even fucking believe in the Lord. So it just shows you. So when the Lord comes back, we understand he will come back to throw down the wicked. So who is he going to? So who is he going to deliver? So what was his point? What was his purpose? Did he just come walk for nothing, and then he just went away? Luke 4:18, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Who's the poor? Go to Revelation 2:9. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted. Who's brokenhearted? The real Israelites, the real Jews. It's in the ghettos, the slums, the projects, getting gunned down, oppressed, in prisons. All going through all the injustice, the hardships, even our woman is giving us hell. To preach deliverance to the captives. Who are the captives? Israelites, man. Hey, you so-called Jews, y'all got your own land. Y'all got the name. Y'all call yourself Israelites, Jews. Man, this damn fucking rat bastard even said, "Who cares about the Northern Kingdom? They're not important," he said. And he recovering of sight to the blind. Who are blinded? Okay, I got a question. So before, you so-called Jews call yourself Jews, what were y'all calling yourselves? When did y'all wake up? Who gave y'all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to wake up? But I know prior to me waking up, and I know pretty sure other brothers can attest to this, I refer myself as a so-called Afro-Latino. A so-called Cuban. I was blind. To set at liberty them that are bruised, and yes, we are, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And who the Lord is going to come back to redeem? His people, his elect, which are who? Israelites. And it's crazy, man, because, again, it makes my blood boil when these bastards say, the Lord, man. All right, real quick, Baruch, and I'm going to end it. So, Baruch 3:1, O Lord, almighty power of Israel, the soul in anguish, the troubled spirit, cry unto thee. Yeah, our spirit is troubled because we're literally death around every corner. Death is presented in front of us every day. Captivity, the punishment, the hardships, the curses, Jake, the 2/3 we had to deal with, fucking Esau, drugs, the famine, everything, man. This world, you so-called rat bastards, man. Y'all don't go through these things because y'all really don't even, y'all aren't really even around it. And it's crazy because even when you go to New York, man, you see those fucking rat bastards. They're protected by the NYPD. And I'm going to tell you something, too. Man, you can go to East New York, over there by Brownsville, one of the nastiest fucking boroughs. 80s, 90s, it still is wild and reckless. Even those Negroes know better not to fucking touch those Jews, so-called Jews, man. So it says, Hear, O Lord, and have mercy, for the Lord are merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee. Yeah, those bastards claim they got it all together. They don't sin, according to them. Because we have sinned before thee, for thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly. O Lord, almighty power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearken to the voice of thee, their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time. For thou, Lord, our power, and thee, O Lord, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name, and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Come on, man. These bastards not doing that, man. They claim they got it. They say, and one thing, man, it's crazy. It just clearly shows you, man. They wasn't the people. They don't call them, to mind what they did before, because they never fell a fucking way. They stole our identity. So it says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Here Israel, the commandments of life, Give ear to understand wisdom. How happened it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead. Exactly. We're like it's like we don't even exist. We're nobodies. Who cares if a nigga die? Nigga die every day, right? You know? Oh, he's just black. He's just Latino. He's just a Hispanic. He's just Mexican. No consideration. Who gives a damn? Just look at them. They're on drugs. They're sprawled out. They're the crooks. They're gangsters. They're thugs. Thieves, you know. So-called blacks and Latinos got that depiction on them as being the worst thugs and the criminals, man. The robbers, the thieves, the crooks, you know. So, you know, we're counted as them, you know, as nobodies, man. That just die. You're here one day and dead the next, you know. We don't matter. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, man. It's just, you know, when did this happen to y'all? You know? That's that, you know, I wonder. Maybe that was just Shalom.